The Secrets of Life with Suvas Agam.
Namaste friends. Today we will meet an American Yogi Aham Brahmasmi. When I went to his ashram, it felt as if I'm time traveling into Eat, Pray, Love novel. Beautiful statues of Hindu deities, oil lamps, vibrant incense, lovely musical instruments, cozy cushions, and whatnot. Everything would remind of some Indian ashram. Aham Brahmasmi has created this little heaven in the heart of Kathmandu, Nepal. His name Aham Brahmasmi comes from the core of Sanatana Dharma, which simply means I am Brahman, or I am that I am. He is a very fortunate disciple of Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. Today we will talk about his amazing experience with Maharishi and his lifelong practice of meditation and more. So, my friends, welcome to the Secrets of Life.
The Secrets of Life with Suvas Agam.
Who is the knower and who is the known? And what is that process that's going back and forth and back and forth? Yeah. That's Bhagavad Gita. That is Rig Veda. That is, Samhita of all of life. Finally, after this whole path that you've created, that there is no path. It's pathless. There was no path ever. It was all made up in the mind. This whole thing of wanting to get somewhere, to own something, it doesn't exist. It's a man-made concept. You are that already. But this Vedic science, this Vedic knowledge, Vedanta, there's nothing like this. This is the highest. There's nothing higher. And the people of Nepal, and Nepal, the country, you guys are divine. Never, ever, ever lose your culture. Stay with your culture. Nepal will change. It's developing very quickly. If you go into your culture, if you start meditating, there is much to be had here. I see, money is created out of nothingness, just like everything else. And I see in the next 10 years Nepal being a big leader in the world, in Asia. I see a lot of money, I see a lot of leaders coming out of here, I see a lot of development, and I see your culture getting even more strong as time goes on. I live in America. It's the most prosperous, developed country in the world. 99% of all those people are so unhappy. Unhappy, and they own everything. And they can buy anything. And yes, there are a certain group of people that are poor there. No matter what you buy, no matter what you have on the outside, the happiness you seek is inside you, and the Vedas give you that knowledge.
The Secrets of Life with Suvas Agam.
Namaste friends, welcome to the Secrets of Life. Today we are really excited because we have a very special guest all the way from United States of America. The good thing is that he lives in Nepal. He is now in Nepal, in Kathmandu, in Thamel, and today I am in his ashram. The ambience of the ashram is so beautiful, the aroma of the incense and all the setting here make me feel, reminds of Eat, Pray, Love movie, or the ashrams of Arunachala, Ramana Ashram or Amma Ashram. It is really beautiful here, and by saying this, I want to welcome the host and the guru of this ashram, Aham Brahmasmi. Welcome to the show.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you.
How are you?
Good. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you very much for being with us. Thank you very much for being with us. It's really an honor that you accepted to be in our show.
It's an honor for me. Thank you.
So, as I don't know where to start, but I want to know something. As I went through your website, I have come to know that you are a disciple of Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. Maharishi Mahesh Yogi is really famous all around the world, even in Nepal. He was in Nepal. And,
in 1974.
Yes, he was in Nepal. I have seen the video, lovely video.
It's amazing how many Nepalis showed up. Thousands.
Yeah.
Really beautiful.
We'll talk about your journey with Master Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, but I would like to know something more about yourself, how the inclination towards the spirituality grew in you.
So you want to, how far back do you want me to start?
I mean from the school.
From school.
Yeah.
So I'm just a normal person, a normal guy. And going to school, I was in high school. I was about 14 and a half, and I had a very high spiritual experience. And I realized that I was the absolute, and I lived that experience for 3 months, and it was like living in heaven. You know, in high school.
And this experience happened out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
Out of blue.
I had no
clue of any god and goddesses and things.
I didn't know anything about spirituality. I didn't know anything about anything. You know, when I was brought up, my mom went to church every Sunday. I went to Sunday school. I'm Christian. I went to Sunday school. I went to church every Sunday. I didn't know anything about gurus. I didn't know anything about Hinduism, Vedanta, nothing. And one night, it was summer, and I had this experience where I just knew I was absolute, and everything was a witness. Everything was just a play. And that lasted 3 months, and I started to lose it. Literally, you know, when you're in high school, I don't know about here in Nepal, but in America, you're nervous, you're kind of scared, you're growing up, you don't know what to expect. You have a lot of demands with school and study. You got a lot going on, and
the same thing happens here also.
Yeah, the same thing with the youth. And they don't know what's going on, and you got this sexual drive, and you got all this pressure from your other friends. And what happened was, all of a sudden, I was thrusted into heaven. And I was really amazed by the whole experience. Then I lost it. It gradually disappeared over the 3 months. And then when I was 16, I saw a poster of Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. And I knew that he was my answer. And I learned transcendental meditation at that time.
Okay.
And
so where was it? Which city?
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
In California, in America.
Okay.
And I couldn't even drive, and I had my parents drive me to learn meditation, and it was far away. And
I mean, what was the reaction of your parents when you told
they
them
thought I was strange.
You're going to learn meditation from an Indian guru?
They thought I was strange. That, you know, it's not common, or back then it wasn't common. This was in approximately 1976, something like that, 75. So I learned meditation, and I just knew this was my life. And I did the advanced course, the Maharishi City program course. And a year later, I left home and I went to work for Maharishi. And I moved into the ashram, and I I wanted to get close to him. He became my whole life. And even today, he's in every cell of my body. He's everything to me. And
So you stayed with him in his ashram?
yes, now he wasn't living there.
Oh.
He was traveling a lot then.
Right.
His home base was Switzerland at the time.
Okay.
I worked in the ashram. I met Maharshi in 1970, I believe 77, 78. He came to Los Angeles. And that's when I met him. He became very real to me.
So,
and he was in contact with the ashram. He would call weekly, monthly, have conference calls, talk. I just wanted to be a guru. I wanted to be a teacher of TM. And I wanted to do whatever he needed of me and teach meditation. And that's all I wanted. He told everyone that everyone should go to school, get their PhD, get educated. I just wanted to be a teacher. And that's what I did. And after working in the movement for 5 years, I went to teacher training. And I was all over the world. I traveled in many spots of the world, taught thousands of people how to meditate. I ended up in Washington, D.C., running or helping to run the main center there, the national center of the TM organization. And Maharshi came to D.C. at that time for a number of weeks, and we got to spend intimate time with him. He's everything. He's changed the world. He was really the development and the foundation of bringing the knowledge of meditation and consciousness to the world through his teachings. He really laid out what consciousness is, where it's located, how to define it, and how to experience it in a very effortless, natural way. That's his gift to the world.
I have found that many people, when they get some sort of distraction in their life, especially some sort of disruption in the relationship or some problem in life, they tend to incline towards spirituality. They tend to take refuge on the feet of Master or God. But in your context, you got to see this sudden realization out of blue, and then you also had this feeling of being teacher and helping people. You had no breakups.
But I lost that experience. So I had the experience, and then I lost it. I couldn't hang on to it because you can't. It's not a thing of words or thoughts. So I naturally lost it. So I was thrusted back into the dilemma of life. And all of a sudden I was like not happy again.
Okay.
And so, out of that suffering, out of this kind of the suffering of humanity, this duality, this tornness of the heart and mind, one wants peace. They want to figure out who they are and who God is.
Yeah.
That's the whole Bhagavad Gita. The whole Bhagavad Gita is the commentary between the mind and the heart. What's going on in between those two? The mind intellectually, tries to define something, and the heart just, wants it. And so you have this push and pull. That's the real start of the Vedas. The Veda is the knower. The first part of the Veda is the knower known in the process of knowing. That's the whole like swelling of pure consciousness of silence. Who is the knower and who is the known? And what is that process that's going back and forth and back and forth? Yeah. That's Bhagavad Gita. That is Rig Veda. That is, Samhita of all of life. That's the play.
I would like to know more what happened when you were in this training for 10 years.
10 years full time with Maharshi.
Yeah, you were 10 years together. I mean, you met frequently to the masters?
A number of times. You know, he had so many brilliant minds around him.
Right. I would like to know what happened there. I mean, what kind of trainings? What was the daily routine? What would you do there?
It was beautiful. Looking back on my life, those were the happiest days.
Do you remember the day? Can you just tell us a glimpse of a day?
I remember.
Okay.
What
would your day look like?
Start from just simple beginning. My mom went on vacation. My dad went to work. And I didn't want to hear them go blah, 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 and kind of, what are you doing? So I wrote them a note, and I said, I've gone to work for Maharshi, and I'll be in contact soon. And I left the note. And I took one bag with me of just a little bit of clothes, and I left. And I remember going into the ashram. It was in Los Angeles, in Pacific Palisades, which was a very wealthy, beautiful, stunning beach community. The ashram was huge. It had approximately 72 rooms for in-house residence courses. And the daily routine was we would get up at 6 in the morning. We would do asanas, pranayama. We would go to the meditation hall. They had a men's and a women's hall. We were all siddhas. We were advanced practitioners of the Patanjali siddhis. And we would do an extensive meditation and advanced siddhi program. And it lasted 4.5, 5 hours in the morning.
Advanced siddhi program.
Siddhi.
Siddhi program. What does that mean?
Maharshi came out with the siddhi program to understand, for the individual to understand the impulses of pure consciousness, to understand how pure consciousness works, and that it's one's own self, and that one impulse within that field of pure consciousness, one can manifest whatever they want in life. And he called it the commander-in-chief of existence. And that's who you are. That's who everyone is. They are that pure consciousness already. It's covered up. It's covered up by the senses, by the prana, by the mind, by concepts and ideas that an individual has. It's kind of like this rug. So the rug exists, but we cover it up with things. And we may miss the rug. You may not even be aware of the rug. You're aware of the Shiva Lingam and Ganesh and Maharshi's picture and Swami Brahmananda's picture. So you become aware of that and you don't even know the rug exists, but the rug's there. Pure consciousness is there already. It's who you are at the base, and you've covered it up with your senses, with your mind, with your ideas and beliefs. So in the siddhi program, you sit in meditation, you start with meditation, so you contact that inner silence. So you allow the senses to naturally settle down, become quiet. You start experiencing finer levels of the thinking process. The whole body settles down, and now you're sitting in silence, pure consciousness. And that's what happened to you before the show. We sat in that pure consciousness. The siddhis, Patanjali cognized certain threads, main threads in creation, in consciousness. And he said that if you enliven those threads, you would get a certain reaction. And that's what the Maharshi's siddhis are about. To bring about greater coherence within the mind and within the body.
You stayed there for 10 years.
10 years. I moved around to different ashrams and different places within the team organization.
After 10 years, on the 11th or 10th year, you got a sort of realization, and as you have written in your website that you got an enlightenment.
Yes, and that happened. So I left the TM organization in 1990, and in 1998, that's when I realized, I became self-realized. That was the first stage of enlightenment. You know, there's goalposts to enlightenment. It's kind of like, you know, when you graduate. Yeah, you have a degree, but then you can kind of, there's different kind of goalposts.
We have associated this enlightenment with the enlightenment of Buddha.
Yes.
Especially in Nepal, as Buddha was born in this land. He was in Bodh Gaya, and in Bodh Gaya he sat there for a long time, and he had no food for some months. He went through many processes, and then one fine morning, one fine day, he got this realization. Realized, and when he realized, it is said that the gods and goddesses were showering the flowers from the sky. This grand thing
that kind of happens.
Yeah, we have this grand imagination about the enlightenment. So when you wrote that enlightenment in your website, I was shocked because we had this big term associated with the Buddha's enlightenment. So how was that? How was that enlightenment? How was it to experience that moment?
Amazing.
Would you like
amazing.
to elaborate?
It is amazing.
Yeah.
It's every individual is going to have a different experience of it. For me, I was elated. I was overjoyed for weeks. It's kind of like any goal. Pick a goal. So say, I don't know what the goals are in Nepal. Say in America, and you know, you want to get a new car.
American dream.
Yeah, or American, but what would a goal be in Nepal, say? What would an average?
To buy a home.
Oh, okay, so to buy a home. So you save your money and you work and it's kind of mundane, and you're kind of treading along, but you always have this idea, I want to own a home, and you keep saving.
Right.
And you save what you can, and then eventually you buy the home and you sign the papers and you're like, oh my God, I own a home. So it's in the same way, you study, you listen to the knowledge, the self-knowledge. I listened to Maharshi. I read many books. I got all kinds of books of all kinds of masters. Now I left the organization and I'm working. I'm trying to make money. I'm trying to find my way in life. I spent my whole 20s with Maharshi, and now I'm on my own, and I'm growing up as a man, and I'm in my 30s. And I realize inside, at the most subtlest level of my intellect, the intellect, I realized everything. I realized that I am Aham Brahmasmi. I am the totality of everything, of all of creation. It's not realized on the level of the intellect, and it's not realized on the level of the mind. It's realized in the absolute, in silence. And when you know at the subtlest level of your intellect, see, the intellect's always questioning, who am I? Who's God? It's lost in the knower, known, and the process. So it's always looking out. Your senses are always looking out. Who am I? Where is God? Who am I to God? Who am I to the world? That stops. That ends at that moment. And you're elated because you get it. You finally know. It's kind of like you have the Shri Palam and you're like, I got it. I own it. It's like in football. Someone throws you the football or kicks you the football and you have it. It's your football. You are in charge of it. You realize, finally, after this whole path that you've created, that there is no path. It's pathless. There was no path, ever. It was all made up in the mind. This whole thing of wanting to get somewhere, to own something, it doesn't exist. It's a man-made concept. You are that already. It's who you are. That's the magic. Everyone can have this. This is not something that is out of your reach. All you have to do is start. Start meditating. Start the path. Even though it's a pathless path, you start on it. When you realize that, and that's just the first stage. That's just the first goalpost. You have cosmic consciousness, self-realization. You have God consciousness or glorified consciousness. And that's where the silence starts to become really full. The first stage of enlightenment, it's really spectacular and amazing, but the glass is still half empty. Still half empty. And there's a dullness associated, because silence doesn't have a feeling. It doesn't have an intellect. It doesn't have a feeling. It's pure silence. Pure. It's absolute. It's the transcendence. Nothing's in it. It's wholeness. But yet, the senses, you can't feel it. Then in God consciousness, as you keep meditating, that silence becomes really tangible and full and whole and blissful. And now you're playing with it. Now you start doing Vedic ceremony and you start seeing they work. They have a huge effect on society and people around them. And it starts to get very full. Then the next goalpost, Brahman consciousness, unity consciousness. And that's where you realize that you never leave. Silence never leaves the self. That everything is being perceived inside, that nothing is outside you. Nothing. Aham Brahmasmi, I am the totality of infinity, and I'm not out, I don't create anything. I am that creation itself. It's beautiful.
Lovely. You were born in a Christian family, and today in Nepal, there are many Christian missionaries working to spread Bible in Nepal. Yes. They are going door to door and
converting people.
They're trying to convert. They're trying to teach. They're trying to preach them and convince them that their deities are the fake deities.
Yes.
They are the not, maybe they are devil or something, right. And they want people to convert into Christianity and they want to be saved,
right.
Resurrected. So as you are from that family, you were born in the Christian family, how you look at these things that they are happening in Nepal?
It's a great question.
Even in whole Asia.
It's going on all over India. It's going on everywhere.
What do you want to say to us, to Hindus, those are converting to this?
This culture, you know, every individual has to decide their own, whatever direction they want to move. But this Vedic science, this Vedic knowledge, Vedanta, there's nothing like this. This is the highest. There's nothing higher. And I'm not saying that Jesus is less than. I'm not saying Buddha. Look at Buddha, Buddhism. It's different than it's Hinduism.
Right.
All these key people that had huge influences on humanity,
right.
They all have something very profound to say and very profound to help humanity.
Right.
The Nepali people, the Indian people, Vedanta, Hinduism, very high. I don't see any knowledge higher than this. I don't see any religion that is as profound as the Vedas. You know, Nepal, the people of Nepal and Nepal, the country, you guys are divine. Never, ever, ever lose your culture. Stay with your culture. The knowledge of the Vedas needs to be taught, it needs to be studied, and it needs to be incorporated within the family unit. Meditation. There's the conversion of Christianity. You know, I don't know what to say about it. It just doesn't have what the Vedas have. It just doesn't have this knowledge. This is profound knowledge. This is what makes this different than Christianity is the experience.
Right.
You can literally, when you're meditating and you're experiencing pure consciousness, the Rig Veda, Sama Veda, Yajur Veda, Atharva Veda, they're all talking about the self. They're all talking about who you are. God is inside you, and you're having a human experience. God is having a human experience. You have the capability with this knowledge to sit and know that you, in fact, are God. There's no difference. Everything is manifested from that one unified field. If you look at quantum physics, they talk about a unified field. Einstein talked about one unifying field. From that one field, all the phenomena, laws, and creation come from that one field. That means that your body comes from that one field, is manifested from that one absolute field. Maharishi would always talk about the flower. And he would say, you know, you have this flower. Well, this whole flower and this whole stem and this leaf, it was all created from invisible sap. And from that sap, in that invisible sap, you have intelligence, creative intelligence that created this green color in this hard stem and this leaf and this beautiful gold, soft petals of the flower. Where did all that come from? It came from pure consciousness. It came from nothingness. Science knows in physics that all your skin cells are new every 6 months. Where do they go? And where do they come to be replaced? They're coming out of something and they're going back into something.
Right.
What is that something? It's pure consciousness. And in Vedanta, you have the ability to have the direct experience of that pure consciousness, that silence. It's who you are already. Don't give up. Do not give up your culture for some other culture.
Right. As you were born in America, would you share some experience of being in Nepal and India? How many times have you been to India?
Only once in India.
In India, in
Only
Nepal.
once.
And how many times in Nepal?
7.
7 times. So 1 time in India and 7 times in Nepal.
I love it here.
So as we Nepali have a big amount of fascination towards Western world. We want to go there. Every year we fill the form of DV lottery, and we try to study IELTS, TOEFL, GRE, and apply for living there, or apply for the permanent residency in Canada or Australia or UK or America. We just want to leave this country. We think that the country is not developed.
Yes.
The country is dusty. It is not worthy of living. The lifestyle is not good. We want to leave Nepal. And here you are. You left your country and came here, and you are loving it. You are enjoying it.
I could talk to you for hours why I left.
Yeah. So please motivate our youths. Why should they stay here, and what's lacking there, and what you see is vibrant here?
The knowledge, the Vedic knowledge. You Every Nepali embodies this Vedic knowledge because you're born here. This country, the foundation of this country is Veda. All these hills, all these mountains, all over Nepal are full of sadhus and babas.
Babina, who is behind the camera, she was born on the place where Vedas were written. Vyasa
Wow.
Vyasa wrote
Yes.
Vedas in
I know,
Damoli.
Veda Vyasa.
Yeah, Vyasa wrote those Vedas in Damoli, place called Damoli.
Amazing.
And she is from there.
This knowledge of the Vedas, there is no place in the world that has this knowledge. There is no knowledge higher than the Vedas. There is none. This knowledge talks about and is about consciousness. That's who you are. Understand consciousness. That's what made Maharshi so great. One of the aspects, because he laid out in a very clear way what consciousness is and allowed you to experience that consciousness within your own self. That's profound. Because otherwise, most people, they have a hard time defining what consciousness is. What is it? I understand why people want to leave a country that doesn't have the economic base that they would like. So they run out to these countries that have that economic base. So there is a pull. They want to, the nature of life is to grow.
Right.
So you want things. You want nicer things. And you see it on YouTube. And so you run to that. The youth run to that. I get it.
Yeah.
When they get there, they realize that all there are a bunch of things and they don't have the soul. I have read many times that Nepal is the chalice of the world. You know what that means, the chalice? It's the cup of the world. It is that source of life.
Yes.
That's Nepal. Nepal will change. It's developing very quickly.
Yeah.
If you go into your culture, if you start meditating, there is much to be had here. I see, money is created out of nothingness, just like everything else. Right. And I see in the next 10 years Nepal being a big leader in the world, in Asia. I see a lot of money, I see a lot of leaders coming out of here, I see a lot of development, and I see your culture getting even more strong as time goes on. I really do. I think that's where it's going. Most of the world, if you look at America, 40% of America, they're atheists now. They don't even believe in God. Right. And almost every home I go into, it's filled with stuff. People are buying, you can buy everything online, Amazon, and they're getting boxes and boxes of stuff because they want to fulfill their heart. And all the time you buy something, you're like, oh my God, I just bought this. And you feel good for, a day or two, and then you set it down and you forget it. And then you're off buying the next thing. And that's America. And I love America. America offers a lot of stuff. Every country offers a lot of things. Nepal has soul, and Nepal has the Vedas. And this is your home, and all of you should embrace that. I'm telling you, the inner fulfillment that you want, the happiness that you seek is inside you. It's not outside. I live in America. It's the most prosperous, developed country in the world. 99% of all those people are so unhappy. Unhappy, and they own everything. And they can buy anything. And yes, there are a certain group of people that are poor there. No matter what you buy, no matter what you have on the outside, the happiness you seek is inside you. And the Vedas give you that knowledge. Go inside, meditate regularly, find it, develop, get a business. If you need to leave, go, make a little money, come back, live here.
Thank you very much for this suggestion and guidance. Because
I don't know if it's a solution, but I firmly believe in that.
You are from there. You are the fish of that ocean, so you know it.
And I love America. I'm not putting it down, but I'm telling you, this knowledge, You know, spirituality, even trying to get people together for spiritual very difficult. No one wants to come. It's literally, it's been killed there. And it's all about buying and spending. That's not where you want to go, my friends. You'll never find happiness not unless you transcend the mind and intellect.
Okay, so as you use this word transcend, I want to come to Maharishi Mahesh Yogi.
That's Swami Brahmananda Saraswati. That's Maharishi's
he's the
teacher.
master.
He's the Shankaracharya of Jyotirmath. He was.
He was the master of
Yes.
Mahesh Yogi,
Yes.
isn't it? Yes.
So, yes.
So there
He lived in caves all up in Nepal and northern India, up in Rishikesh and Udakarshi. He became the Shankaracharya of Jyotirmath. That seat was empty for 172 years.
Okay.
And it took them 20 years. They kept hearing of a man that lived in the caves up here in Nepal and northern India above Udakarshi. And it took them 20 years to coax him to come out and take that seat. They couldn't find a teacher that was worthy enough and that lived a spiritual life enough to fill that seat. And the Shankaracharya of Jyotirmath is the highest seat of the Shankaracharya tradition.
Right.
And he took that seat, and that's when Maharishi met him.
Yeah,
really beautiful.
Let's. I want to hear more about Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, as he is known as the Guru of Beatles and the one who also made India more famous to the Western world.
Through the Beatles, really.
Yeah,
yeah.
Beatles
They really
by
kind of
using their name and fame, that really helped to take our tradition to the West.
Exactly.
I would love to know more, as you have met him, you have been with him. How was he?
Amazing. He was very short. Like about 5'1", 5'2", very, very tiny man.
Okay.
And when I first met him, it was in a big hall, and he came walking in, and everyone stood up, and he was covered in flowers, and everyone would hand him a flower. Just huge, and big smile on his face, and the flowers falling everywhere, and you could hear a pin drop in the room. It was so quiet. And to be in his presence was being in the presence of God. It was being in the presence of a king. His energy was pure silence. He was bliss. He was the nature of bliss itself. He was a king. He would sit down, and he was so soft and gentle and strong. And when he spoke, it would like bring tears to your eyes. And he was very much a scientist, and he very much spoke in terms of science and consciousness, and that the nature of life is bliss. And how do we know the nature of life is bliss? Because the mind wants anything that's pleasing or happy to itself.
Yeah.
And so to be in his presence, he spoke, he could speak for hours, and the knowledge that came out was it was life-changing. It was pretty amazing. To see him sit with doctors and intellectual minds and some of the greatest minds in the world, he was never nervous, he was always just this silent field of bliss. And the whole room, you could feel it. I have never sat in the presence of any other guru, any other saint and teacher as powerful as him. And I've sat with a lot of teachers. None. It was something out of heaven. It was pretty amazing. And maybe that's because I loved him so much. You know, maybe I had that infinity. Yeah. But anyone that was around Maharishi, you could feel it. You know, Deepak Chopra came out of him. Deepak Chopra is I don't know if you've read any of his books.
I've heard him.
Anyone you talk to that have been around him, Deepak spent
a
lot of real intimate time with him.
Okay.
There's no
He's
comparison.
Great influencer in America also.
Deepak Chopra.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is he much of an influence in India?
Well, the intellectuals know him, and he's a good motivator also, and so he is taken very good as a very good person who have.
He's an excellent speaker.
He have taken Ayurveda to the next level. He have talked about Ayurveda and spiritual science in West. So he's considered quite good person.
Yeah.
As a good person.
Yeah, he's big in America. Very big.
Yeah, he's big. Yeah, I have seen that. He have more wider influence in America than in India.
The center I used to run was in Pacific Palisades, and he would come there often. That was one of his main meeting halls, and he would have talks there and meet a lot of people in Los Angeles at that center. Pretty amazing man.
Yeah. So, I mean, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi taught transcendental meditation.
Yes, correct.
And transcendental meditation, this term is really famous now. Everyone talks about it. Everyone knows it. But I would like to hear something more about it from you.
Transcendental meditation.
Transcendental meditation.
TM. TM is a very simple, natural, effortless technique. It involves no concentration, no contemplation. It allows the mind to settle down and experience finer levels of the thinking process till it comes to the source of thought, silence, pure consciousness. It does it in such a simple and effortless way that the mind and body absorb that silence and start to live that silence. And their whole life begins to flourish. They have clearer thinking right away. They have more coherence. They have more energy. Their body becomes more healthy, more clear. They have more energy. They're able to focus easier. They have more greater vision, more greater understanding, because consciousness, it literally allows the conscious mind to expand. It's literally like getting a container and then getting a bigger container, a bigger and bigger and bigger container. So your life becomes more full, more whole. And it does this in a very effortless way. 20 minutes twice a day, 30 minutes twice a day, so it's simple. Anyone can do it. Okay. That was the glory of Maharishi. And then he focused on science, and he was really the first guru to say that if you're having this experience of inner peace, inner silence, then it has to be measured, and it can be measured on the level of chemistry, in the brain, in the physiology. And then scientists followed suit. They listened to him and they started to do research. And they came out with, I think now it's like 600 published scientific studies on the benefits of transcendental meditation. So, you know, if anyone can or want, they should learn TM. Just by learning that technique, your understanding of the Vedas, of your culture, it will increase 1,000-fold overnight.
Okay.
Highly recommend it. It works. It's profound. People in Hollywood, I worked in Hollywood for 30 years, and I would have directors come up to me, and first assistant directors and executive producers come up to me, and they'd say, you know, I learned TM last week, or I learned TM a month ago. I just want to let you know. And I'd say, how do you feel? And they're like, it's amazing. Like, it changed my life. I do it regularly. People, because they knew I would teach, you know. They didn't know I taught, but they knew I did TM. And I would always laugh and chuckle when they would tell me that, because it works. It's profound.
Right. So you work in Bollywood,
Hollywood.
Hollywood. How was that? And when did you manage, after staying 10 years with TM and this Maharishi, and then you went to Hollywood?
I went into Hollywood full force.
Okay. With this experience of meditation.
Yes. And I never stopped meditating. So I would always sneak away. And you know, the film industry is very demanding. It's very stressful. Yeah. It's fun. Yeah. I met a lot of people, worked with the best, some of the biggest actors and musicians and directors and producers in the world. A lot of stress, a lot of hours, 20-hour days, 18-hour days, 25-hour, sometimes even 28-hour days. Consistent. It's very hard on the body, very hard on the mind. I would sneak away and meditate, always twice a day. And the meditation helps. It helped with me with my diet, always. The understanding of the Vedas and yoga and Ayurveda. You know, Maharishi really brought out a lot of Ayurveda. And just that knowledge, it saved me on set. It allowed me to eat properly. I could see all this food at craft service or at catering. They would bring in, they would cook us food all the time. And just having that knowledge from Maharishi on Ayurveda, I would only eat the proper foods. It saved me. It helped. But that gave me a lot of experience. It allowed me to speak in the front of the camera, to speak to people I felt comfortable with, and it gave me a lot of diversity with the public.
And what was the point when you when you decided that okay, now no more Hollywood, now only focus on the spirituality?
I've always wanted to do that. You know, I was just talking to a gentleman here in Nepal yesterday, and I have this pull inside, this push to teach. I just want to teach.
So it's
going to be my dharma, because
let's connect this answer with the same another question, that you are now living in Nepal. You have this beautiful ashram with a wonderful ambience, and you have tambura from India, harmonium, dholak, and this beautiful altar here. We do a bikashikam. We're going to do later on tonight. We'll do an agni yagya. So we do the ceremony so people can feel this. Yeah. So this ashram is here. We are in the ashram. So what are you doing here, and what's your plan?
Teaching. Great. I have this pull to teach. You know, it's so funny. I've come all the way to the other side of the world to teach here. And someone said, well, Maharishi went to the other side of the world to teach. And I thought, that's interesting. I have this pull to teach. I could just go back to America and do nothing. I could literally just go hang out. I live on a beautiful sailboat.
You could also have taught this meditation in America.
And I do.
But you are here.
But not that many people learn in America. People want to spend. People want to buy. They don't want to sit down and really, I just don't see them wanting to do it. A lot of the meditation there, where the money is in America right now, is they do mindful meditation. They have an app on their phone. They pay $10 a month, and they press a button. They can do a 10-minute, 15, 20, 30-minute meditation. And it's a contemplation meditation. People will spend money on that. It's $10. They sit, they close the eyes in the car. They're very busy. They put it in their ear, they listen to it, and it talks them down. That's all it does. It's just a talk. You're floating on a cloud. Don't you feel, you feel more light, you feel easy. The mind is settling down, the stress is being released. It's like that. And they'll pay that. You have, just on that one app alone, 425 million people. Every month they're paying $10 a month to listen to that app. Deepak Chopra has an app like that now. Money, 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 money. Is it getting you anywhere? It makes you feel a little bit happier. It's better than doing nothing. At least they're closing their eyes for 10, 15 minutes. But it doesn't allow you to transcend the mind and the intellect. I left America. Not too many people want this in America. They say they do, and then when it comes time to really do it, they run. I've been teaching since 1985. Maharshi made me a guru in 85. I haven't stopped teaching. Even during all of Hollywood, I would still teach people here and there. Most people, they want quick fixes. Drug, a pill, go on vacation. They'll listen to 10 minutes of earphones of like nice talk. That's what they want. This culture, this culture in Nepal, you guys are blessed. There is nothing like this anywhere. Even in India, this culture here, you people, I was going to say, the Nepali people, you guys are living the Vedas. You live it. You're brought up as a little child, and your mom and dad are teaching you these qualities of the Veda.
Right.
That doesn't even happen in India. I don't know India much, but this is so sweet, this culture. I listen. I don't know much of this culture. I'm very new. I'll never really learn the richness of your culture. It's too deep.
Yes.
It's too rich. It's too diverse. I'm taking a drumming class, and I'm listening to them, and he starts singing. And he's singing one of his village songs, and his brother's there. And I'm listening, and I said, what does that mean? And it's all about God and nature, and it's just so refined. And if you read Sanskrit and you understand Sanskrit, he's basically singing Sanskrit even though he's not using Sanskrit words.
Yeah.
And I'm like, look up, I had that glimpse, and I went, look how profound this culture is. That's how they're brought up. Nowhere in the world is it like that. Nowhere. Central America, South America, America, Europe, no, Eastern Europe, Russia, China, not this. You guys are very special people. That's why I'm here. That's why. I have to come to the other side. I can't even bring my stuff here because it's too expensive to ship.
Yeah.
And sometimes I look around and I'm like, can I live here? Your culture is just very rich. It's very.
So yesterday you were saying something about you have plan with water purification.
Yes.
thing. What's that?
So I'm starting a clean water. It's not a campaign. It's a clean water project to bring clean water to every Nepali in this country, and I really believe that I can do that, and we can do that. I say I just because I had this idea 3 years ago that this impulse, let's do this. And I got together with Subhash. I don't know Subhash's last name. He has 2 master's degrees, one in Vedic science and one in mass communication and journalism. And he's written a number of books. One of the books is pretty well known in the international world on Vedic society.
He's from Nepal?
He's Nepali. And hopefully it happens next week. We'll open up the nonprofit. And we will start. I've already raised money to help him, to pay him for a whole year to keep this project going. I've already contacted actually they kind of contacted me, a group in America, and said that when we do our research, they're willing to fund some of the project. So we will get funding from America, nonprofit, funding from huge corporations to bring the money here to get this project happening.
Wow.
The Nepali people deserve clean water. It is a shame what's going on now, not that it was going on in the past, but right now, we just need to clean up this water and get them. You know, arsenic is natural in the soil, and they're finding it a lot in the water. So we need to clean that up. We need to get that clean. We have ideas, and now it's just a matter of getting it going. So I think in the next few years, I think we're going to see huge progress in that level. So there's no reason why we can't get a few $100 million and get the project going here and get it done. I think it's going to be easy. So
lovely. I wish you all the best for this project.
So do I. It's
and
through the graces of Shiva, right?
And what's the plan with the ashram?
Ashram, to teach as many people that want to come and learn Vedic meditation.
How many times have you came and went back to America? How long have you stayed in Nepal?
About 3 months at a time.
Okay.
And the thing is to teach as many people as possible Vedic meditation, Maharshi's meditation. That's what I was trained for. That's how I became a guru. I call it Vedic meditation because I'm no longer intimately associated with the TM organization.
Okay.
They have their own rules.
The TM is working in many parts of Nepal.
Absolutely.
These days also.
Yeah, and they're very
successful.
successful.
So you are not connected with them.
No, I'm not.
So you are totally freely doing your own stuff.
Yes, doing my own stuff. They have a lot of rules,
yes.
and Maharshi has set up certain criterias.
Very interesting. When you said rule, one question came into my mind. Like, though you were in that organization for 10 years and you learned there, and now at this point you don't want to be in that circle, in that rule and regulation area zone. Mm-hmm. You want to get out of that zone. Why is that? Is that the symptoms of you are enlightened and now you want to fly with your own wing?
Kind of. I mean, I just want to play. I just, you know, I don't want to turn this into a business. Spirituality isn't a business. You know, Maharshi has the TM organization. They have certain criterias. They have certain things they want to achieve and do. I do too. I just want to play. You know, I'm 63 years old. I want to have fun. And I think that everyone that comes and learns meditation, they want to have fun too.
I was not imagining that you were 63.
Meditation and clean water.
Oh my God! Wow!
So it's proper meditation. You know, this meditation doesn't have many rules. I listen to a lot of different types of meditations. There's so many rules. There's so many kind of can't do this and can't do that. It's too much. I can see why the youth want to run away. It doesn't have to be like that. Spirituality is who you are. You know, if you want to eat meat, if you want to go out and have a drink here, you can do that. You could, it's not, you don't have to have all these rules. You know, purity, you want to have purity, but it should come naturally. Right. And it comes naturally the more you meditate. I just want to teach meditation. I want to give Shakti. You know, you had a very good experience with Shakti. Do you want to share any of that experience?
Yeah, I mean, before this show, we had this
before we started.
Yeah, and yeah, you did something. I don't know what you were doing because my eyes were closed. But it felt really good. It felt some sort of sensation in the body, inside, even in the forehead and even in the Sahasrara chakra, even inside, some sort of wonderful feeling was there. It was lovely, it was good, but it was the first time, and maybe as I came from outside, so maybe I was not much settled, but though, in spite of that, I felt really wonderful.
Oh, beautiful.
But how does it work? I mean,
so
you have been giving Shaktipat for long. So
a long time.
How was your experience of giving Shaktipat to many people?
Shakti is pure silence. Shaktipat is the direct experience of pure silence. When you receive Shaktipat, the whole physiology begins to settle down. The pituitary gland, the pineal gland, wakes up. It's responsible, it is the third eye. And it wakes up. And as that third eye wakes up, the whole crown opens up and you start to experience, you have this direct experience of pure consciousness, silence. There's no experience higher than that. That experience changes the chemistry within the brain and the physiology immediately. And the pineal gland wakes up, the third eye opens up, and you're sitting in this silence. You realize that your intellect and your thoughts are here, and beyond that, you're experiencing this infinite space. And it's a phenomenon that happens almost immediately. That changes the structure in your subconscious, and your subconscious will awaken your own self. Whether you learn meditation or not, the subconscious has patterns within it, habits of thought.
Right.
When you get Shakti, it introduces a new pattern within the subconscious that tells you to wake up. And within 3-6 months, I always see this within 6 months, the whole person's life starts to change and they start to become very spiritual. They move towards whatever religion or whatever spirituality they believe, they start moving very close to it, and they start craving God, the self. That's what happens with Shakti. Very profound. Muktananda wrote about it, and he wrote extensively about it because he would give out Shaktipad. And it's been around for thousands of years.
Great. As you took the name of Muktananda, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi was your main master. You have read many books, spiritual books from India probably, and you have also heard of many masters. Would you take name of some masters that you are really inspired with, you really look after and really love them?
There's a number of them. Karunamai, amazing saint. Ma, she's so beautiful.
Amritanandamai,
beautiful, the hugging saint.
Yeah, I have hugged her.
She's amazing, right?
Yes.
You know, when she first started to come to Los Angeles, there were only like 10 people around her, and I would sit in the room with her. It was so sweet. Yeah. And you could just go up and just be with her.
I was in her ashram in India. In her own ashram.
Beautiful,
I
right?
lived there for one day.
Wow.
And I hugged her, and it was
so sweet.
Experience.
That's the Shakti. So that's Shakti.
Yeah, and today when I'm seeing this environment here, whatever you have created, it reminds me of that ashram.
Oh yeah, the Shakti.
Yeah.
She puts out such strong Shakti.
Right.
And you see people cry and they hug. Her, she's doing it all the time. It gets stronger. It gets, you sit on the stage with her, like my friend goes all the time. She comes to LA every year, and she'll sit behind her on the stage for like 40 minutes, an hour. And the Shakti, you can just feel it, that silence.
Right.
And as you get closer to her, your mind goes blank. And you're just sitting in this absolute nothingness, this bliss. Shakti, pure silence.
So you love Amritanandamai also? And more?
At the time, he's no longer around yet. He inspired me greatly with his books. I read all his books, and that was Adida. I don't know, he's American. He reached enlightenment. He went to seminary school, got his PhD as a priest, and then he reached enlightenment. And Adida. And very interesting man. He had an ashram in Fiji and one in Northern California. He had a lot of followers. His Shakti was very powerful. People would come in the room, and the whole room would be like gold. You could feel it.
Wow.
Very strict man. He wrote a lot of books, and I read all his books. I was enamored. Muktananda, Guru Mai, amazing. I sat at his feet once, and amazing. Him and Maharshi were kind of close. They got close at some point. Yeah. They met, and I think they met for a week or two. And Guru Mai, I spent a little time with her. She's amazing. Many saints have inspired me. Who else has inspired me? I can't even think now. Those are the ones that come to my mind right now. Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, I sat at his feet. Amazing man.
Yeah,
look at that man and what he's achieved. Yeah. He was the one of Maharshi's pundits, and he just he reached a very high level of
Yes.
understanding, and he said, let's go. He's got a documentary, and I recommend everyone watching that documentary. It's an amazing documentary.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
No, I haven't, but I have met him.
Yeah,
I have met
he's wonderful,
Sri Sri.
right? He's done amazing.
I'm a singer also.
Oh.
I sing spiritual songs. After this interview, I'm looking at the harmonium.
Can you play? Oh, that'd be great. That would be a lot
And
of fun.
it was I was living in Sweden,
Uh-huh.
and there was an Indian temple,
Uh-huh.
and he was there. He was visiting
Amazing.
Sweden, and I had an honor to play in front of him.
Uh-huh.
That was very special moment for him, for me.
And for him too.
Well, that came out of my mouth.
He must have really enjoyed it.
Yes,
It's
he
beautiful.
did. Yes, he did. He loved it, and
I wonder if he lived in Switzerland. You know, Maharishi lived in Switzerland in Salisbury that was the national center. I think he lived there for like 10, 12 years, Maharishi. So I wouldn't be surprised if Sri Sri Ravi Shankar didn't live there. I'm almost for sure he did.
oh, okay.
What were you doing in Switzerland?
No, I'm not Switzerland, Sweden.
Oh, Sweden. I am
Sweden.
so sorry.
Sweden. Yeah. And he was visiting
Uh-huh.
Sweden, but I don't know where was his base at the time.
Interesting.
Yeah, I have been to his ashram. in
Isn't
India.
Maharshi's ashram? Wasn't his ashram? Is it in Sweden now? Flowdrop Holland.
Oh, Holland. Okay.
What a great experience! That must have been fun.
Yes. Yeah, I have met many masters and many teachers and many
Beautiful.
gurus, and meeting and talking to you was really a great experience. I just loved it. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much for your beautiful blessings and love. And
There are a few more questions coming in my mind. Like I was in India, and one friend from Australia was there with me, and he used to ask very frequently about this god and goddesses in Hinduism. That you have millions of god. What is this? What kind of concept is that? We have only one god, and even Muslim also have one god, and you have this million of god. What kind of concept is that? And what is the understanding of yours on that day, on this topic? On this issue that people conceive us, people look at us, thinking that this Hindu people have million of God, and how do they manage to worship? And now you are into it, so would you answer them from your perspective of
Yes.
seeing us?
you know, the Vedas are a sound-based frequency knowledge. Christianity is based in kind of it's Roman. It's Roman based. It's
Right.
based in the Middle East. It's based on one man, one understanding, one
Right.
kind of God,
Yeah.
Son. Same thing with Islam.
Right.
It's based on Mohammed, and he is the Son of God, one man knowledge. Vedanta is based on many, many, many men, many women,
Right.
many, many aspects of the different aspects of one Godhead. You have all these different aspects of Veda, and they're all leading back to one thing, God. And you have many authors, many key figures, rishis, sages, saints, that cognize different strings, different avenues of the Veda and lay it out. These different gods are very real in consciousness. They are as real as you and me. They exist. They are different aspects and different qualities of the one Godhead, the one Absolute. Every single one, every single God, they all say that I am the absolute, I am the totality. Just like you are, just like I am, just like everyone is. They're all individual qualities, just like we're individual qualities. And they are the highest impulses within creation itself. Just like we are. And so when we worship, when we give thanks to the different individual gods of Hinduism, Vedanta, we're worshiping ourselves. That's what we're doing. We're worshiping those qualities within inside of us. Nothing is outside of us. Nothing. That is the fallacy. That is Maya. That is the great lie. That's the start of all suffering. Mistaking that there is an outside. There is no outside. You function, you live, you have your dharma, you have your duty, whatever it is you'd like to achieve, you do that. But have that understanding. The truth is that nothing is outside the self. And every saint, every sage, every enlightened individual, they all tell you the exact same thing. These gods are personified laws of nature of creation. That's what they are. And so to say that, this is hedonism, this is, devil worship, you're worshiping false gods, there's only one God. It's just, that's a belief and a concept, and it's just not true.
The name of the show is The Secrets of Life.
Beautiful.
What do you think is the secret of this life? What is the reason behind our existence? What are we doing here? What do you think about that?
We're here to experience bliss, to live bliss. That's the secret of life. And why do I say that? Because everybody wants to be happy.
Wow.
That's why you always move. Every individual will always move towards that which makes them more happy, naturally. You don't have to try. It's within the structure of life itself. So, the nature of life is bliss. So that's why we want to go inside and experience that bliss inside. The mind wants to settle down and experience its own nature. And what is the mind's own nature? Aham Brahmasmi. I am that totality, that infinite self, that pure silence that's within me already. That is everyone. That is who everyone is. That's the nature of life.
So it is all Leela.
It's all Leela. It's all Leela. The play, the dance of Leela. And this can be had. This is my message.
Then what is the secret of making this life most beautiful and most blissful?
Go inside. Go inside. As soon as you start getting close to that self, when you get close to that self regularly, your life, no matter where you are economically, where you are living in, whether you're living in the city or the village, your life will start to get more full, more whole. You'll start putting your attention on things that have more bliss in them, more expansion in them. One of the biggest success principles there is in the world is that whatever you put your attention on, you get. So if you put your attention on what you don't have, this lack, we talked about the lack, this emptiness, that you get more of that. That's just how the nature works. When you go inside and you experience this inner silence, this inner peace, what happens? It's full. Everything starts to expand. You feel expansion. Didn't you feel more expansion when you sat in that silence?
Right.
So right away, the whole creation, your creation, starts to expand in a natural way and in a blissful way. So things that aren't that nice, you get them out of your life. And you pull things in that are even more pleasing. And that happens all natural. Maharishi would call it, he called it spontaneous right action. And that happens naturally when you go inside and you transcend. So that is the nature of life. And I love your show. I think what you're doing and what you're achieving is amazing. And I wish you so much luck. I would love to see you both travel around the world and give live talks and slideshows and videos on all these great people that you're meeting.
Thank you very much.
People need to know this.
As you have said this, now this is going to happen.
Good.
Thank you very
Good.
much. The program, the show is blessed because of your presence, and we are blessed to come in this
It's a beautiful ashram.
energy field, this ashram. And
Can I say one thing?
Yeah, please.
I would love everyone to come here freely, come and get Shakti, come and sit, ask questions. Who ask questions about who you are, what is everything, why am I suffering, why am I hurting? Come, sit, get Shakti. If you want to learn meditation, let me know and I'll teach you. Everything's free, everything is here for you. This is the ashram for the community. That's what I want. 2 things: to bring clean water to Nepal. I can't do it. The Nepali people are going to be all on the board. It's the Nepali people that are going to help bring this clean water to Nepal. I think that'll happen. And also, for everyone to learn meditation, reach enlightenment. You can reach enlightenment. This isn't a mystical thing. It's mystical, but it's a science, and it can be had easily and effortlessly. That's my message. That's it. I'm just a guy. If I take off this dhoti, I wear shorts, I'm like everyone else. I eat, I have to brush my teeth, I have to go to sleep, I have to eat well. You can reach enlightenment, you can have this life. This is not something out of reach. Everyone can live this. And it doesn't involve a lot of rules. All I see is a lot of rules being given out. Can't do this, can't do that. What youth is going to do that? No one's going to. We have a hard enough time getting through our life. We got to get up in the morning, pay our bills, get enough rest. We can barely get enough energy to get through the day. And then we got to try to make money. You don't need a bunch of rules added on top of that. To reach enlightenment, it doesn't take much. You have to sit down and meditate, but that's it. If the meditation is correct, if it's effortless, natural, and simple, you'll have that direct experience of silence. You had it today.
My last question.
Yes.
Sometimes you get this feeling of sadness without any reason. Without any reason, you feel something bad.
Like empty or hollow.
Yeah, some sort of pain is there, but you don't know why the pain is there. And you need to think, what was the reason that's making me sad?
Yeah, that's beautiful.
What is
You
the
recognize
reason
that.
I'm feeling something not good inside myself?
And the youth experience this a lot. They're more sensitive to it.
Yes, definitely. So what would you
suggest?
What would you suggest to those people? And what is that?
Meditate. Grab to meditation. Grab on. I grabbed Maharishi. Maharishi had the key, and the key was go inside. Go inside. Come and learn this meditation. It's effortless. If you don't want to learn from me, learn from the TM organization. Learn it. It works. That hollowness, that emptiness, that sadness that you feel for no reason, that is what caused you to come back here and be here. That's the hook. That's the hook. You're like, okay, I have this hollow. You know, the glass is half empty or half full. It's always, life is always full. You look around, look at the fullness. Look at the mountains there. Look at the homes and the trees and this building. It's all full, but all of a sudden you're feeling inside empty. That emptiness. The emptiness is the collapse of fullness. The collapse of fullness. And when that collapsed, you create it. You create it. And what did you create? You created all this. And then you entered into it. And entering into it is your karma.
Right.
So the solution, go inside. Go inside. Get close to who you are. Spend time inside with your eyes closed.
Okay then.
Namaste.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I would ask, if I have forgotten to ask something, what would you like to say at last to my audience, to my
I
viewers?
said it all. I love all of you, and I feel very blessed being in your country. And I hope you accept just a little bit of me, because I really would love to spend my life here. Thank you. Namaste.
Okay then, thank you very much for being in our show. We'd love to meet again, and we'll have more satsang together.
I would love that.
Once again, thank you very much.
Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste. I hope it was amazing show for you. I really enjoyed it, and it was an amazing experience of being with Aham Brahmasmi. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much, Babina, for suiting us. And we'll meet you again in the next show. Thank you very much. Namaste.
Whoa! Whoa!
Wow!
That's pretty profound. Fireworks
Yeah.
within.
Wow.
And this is Ganesh.
Oh.
How amazing is that? That's a big sign.
That's a big sign.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Namaste.
Namaste.
The Secrets of Life with Suvas Agam.